Travis Hunter and Angel Reese have a lot in common, and it's honestly not what you think. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to What She Said. So Travis Hunter and Angel Reese were both born in the month of May. Y'all know they both are phenoms and stellar athletes in their respective sports. Both are professional athletes. Travis Hunter is preparing for the NFL draft, and Angel Reese is preparing for the very first season of Unrivaled Basketball, where she gained equity by being selected to play for Unrivaled. Now, unfortunately, even though people are at the top of their game in their careers or the respective sports that they play, it doesn't guarantee that their personal lives are running smoothly or that they aren't suffering. So recently, Angel Reese and Travis Hunter both decided to depart from Instagram. Now, that's actually detrimental to their goals. And the reason why they both fled social media is because they didn't like what people had to say about their respective situations. So what I'm getting ready to say, even though I'm discussing Travis Hunter and Angel Reese, this applies to any one of us. Understand that what Angel Reese and Travis Hunter has in common that y'all likely can't see or haven't really taken the time to think about is insecurities stemming from childhood. And let's talk about Travis first. Okay, so Travis has been in the news, regarding his relationship, and, people around the world have, independently of each other, that don't know each other, have tried to warn him that he's being played, to keep it simple. He's being played, that he's with someone that doesn't have his best interests at heart, that, he needs to kind of stand up for himself and move away from a toxic situation, because if he stays in it, then, people are saying that he could end up like Steve McNair. The issue is Travis is choosing to be stubborn and not listen. Now, everything that the internet is using to discuss Travis early on in the conversation was put out there by his fiance. We only know that Travis sat in the car and waited on her while he was at parties because she told us. We only know that he wasn't her type because she told us. So the things that YouTubers decided that social media picked up on, it was like, man, you need to stand up for yourself. This woman is saying these things about you. These were men that were coming to him to basically warn him that she's not the one, she's not down for you like that. But he wanted to tune all of that out, and he had a fit and basically said, we've been together 5 years. Well, of course, social media is undefeated. The internet went and found that 3 years ago, she was in all these random type of situations with guys, so they couldn't have been together 5 years. So Travis, instead of defending what he said, he just left the internet, and likely embarrassment. But the reason Travis is in this situation still today is because he has insecurities stemming from childhood. He needs to be validated. This young woman validates him. Her attractiveness or level of beauty that he finds attractive, regardless of her personality and her behavior, is what he needs to validate him. And it all goes back to when he was in high school or middle school, that some young black kid said that he wasn't attractive. And, that goes to not having self-worth, And I remember distinctly a young man telling me that he thought I was ugly. I laughed at him. Why? Because I know I'm not. See, that's the difference. Travis believed whoever told him he was ugly or he wasn't attractive. Now, one thing about kids, and school teachers can attest to this, especially middle school and high school kids, the cruelty that exists within elementary school and middle school. In fact, that's where cyberbullying came from. Yeah, the younger age groups who took to social media and was using it to bully other students. So essentially, Travis was bullied because somebody didn't think he was attractive, or they just told him he wasn't attractive, and he believed it. So he's grown up with these insecurities. So the attractive woman comes along, and she, according to him, she likes him, and now he feels seen. Now he feels attractive. She validates him. And his unrealistic expectations is another layer of this problem. You know, one of the things when Travis was going on a tirade and telling us that we've been together for 5 years, she was with me when I had nothing. They met while Travis was in high school. What exactly were you supposed to have in high school? He said he had $1 to his name. I'm thinking to myself, oh, okay, you were in high school. But the problem is he didn't know his worth. When they met in high school, his senior year, he was also the #1 player in the country. But that wasn't enough to validate him. He needed external validation from this woman who, because she's around him, he thinks loves him because he don't know what it is. So his situation, while it's complex, is also kind of simple and is textbookish. And what Travis needs is therapy. He needs to go to therapy, individual therapy, not couples therapy, because you have to be a whole person first. He has to heal those childhood wounds, and he needs to stop internalizing that because you didn't have $1 in high school, you were somehow supposed to be wealthy. Where did you get that from? And that's what comes from not having good, honest people around you. Because when Travis was saying these things, that, oh my gosh, she was with me when I had nothing, her brother just sat there and shook his head. But young black guys like Janky Rondo and the other media guys who were there, the other streamers, you know what they would have laughed? They would say, bro, you're not supposed to have nothing. None of us had nothing in high school. You're supposed to be focusing on your education. And somebody would have told him in that group, bro, you were Travis Hunter. You just hadn't cashed in on being Travis Hunter yet. You see, that's what happens when you have yes people around you or people around you that want to use you. They're not being honest. They're not being honest in saying the things that he's saying that are ridiculous. They aren't saying, bro, that's really like, that's far-fetched, bro. You was in high school. It's a lot of broke people in high school. In fact, what Travis needs to understand is, it's good he had a roof over his head, because there are many and numerous of young people who graduate high school while living in homeless shelters. So that comes from being ungrateful and not having a grateful heart. So his situation is kind of layered, but it all, when you look at it, it's insecurities, internalizing unrealistic expectations, and trying to justify an unhealthy attachment to a woman who basically is the reason the internet has the ability to make fun of you because of what she put out there. And rather than him tell her, I don't like the way you put me out there like that, he chooses to get off the internet. Individual therapy, so he can heal from these childhood wounds, so he can understand what manipulation looks like, so he can learn what love looks like, so he can learn the proper way to cope. Because hiding from the internet when you have endorsements is not beneficial towards your generational wealth at all. So basically, you're working against your own goal, and you're choosing to attach yourself to someone who's working against you. Individual therapy. All right, so let's move on to Angel Reese. Okay, Angel Reese basically has the same problem, insecurities, stemming from something in her childhood. Now, that could have been a lack of a parent, maybe the father. I know I've seen her mother. Her mother does not play about her, but sometimes that's just not enough. If the father wasn't present, even if a brother or uncle is around, if a father wasn't present, it is highly possible that, you know, a young woman seeks external validation from men. It happens all too often. It's also textbookish, but it explains why the internet is going in on her, because she's increasingly showing less clothing and more skin. And she's functioning as if she's like an OnlyFans person or a stripper, meaning using your body to make money. You're a basketball player. In fact, you're a professional basketball player and a damn good one. So much so that a brand new league wanted you on its roster. But that comes from needing external validation, and you only need external validation when you don't know your worth. That's why you see all of the displays of confidence, because when all the cameras go away before she press record, she doesn't feel whatever it is that she needs validation for. You really need somebody to tell you pretty? I said the same thing to Travis Hunter. Do you really need the internet to tell you you are him? And yes, the internet had to tell him he's him. So the internet has to tell Angel she's attractive. Sometimes growing up with one parent, you end up lacking the confidence to believe in yourself. So if you're a male child and you grew up without a father, you might lack confidence to be your own man, because you don't know what that looks like, because you didn't have it modeled for you. Or let's say you grew up with a father, but he was emotionally inept or incapable, and you still gonna lack confidence because you don't know what it looks like, because it hasn't been modeled for you. And in both of their cases, Travis Hunter and Angel Reese, I don't believe there was a consistent relationship or bond with their father. I could be wrong. But that's why we're seeing insecurities in both. That's why they both ran away from the internet. For one, they both thought because they're young, they're gifted, they're wealthy, that they could do whatever they want to do. And now they know that saying whatever you want to say and doing whatever you want to do comes with consequences. So does Ja Morant. He fits in the triangle because he went before them and did what he wanted to do, and it cost him. Ja Morant was on his way to being a $500 million athlete. And I think Angel Reese and Ja Morant are friends. So, you know, when we can't learn from our friends, you know, and when we have too much pride to stay and stand and listen to what the internet is saying, because here's the thing about the internet. Travis and Angel Reese both have fan bases. And for Travis to think that everybody's a hater and he can't discern and listen to his fan base and realize that his fan base is coming to him with concerns, tells you that it feels good to him to have an unhealthy emotional attachment to someone who doesn't have his best interest at heart. But I have what I wanted. Would think that Ja Morant going before them with the mindset of, I can do anything that I want to do and not be proactive and think about the consequences, but only to be slapped on the wrist and have to lose first, would be enough for them to learn. But see, that's where immaturity comes in. You know, I say it all the time. You shouldn't have to break your back to know it hurts. And that's exactly what's happening. You know, and I really think Angel and Travis could be friends, but not right now, because I'm going to tell you what they would do. Angel and Travis would text each other to death and get together and run off in the sunset as friends, thinking that we all hate them. That's what they would do in their current state. When in fact, Travis should go to individual therapy before he gets to the league to try to heal some of his childhood scars, childhood insecurities. And Angel Reese, before she even gets to Unrivaled, should enlist the services and get herself a therapist. And she probably already has one. But be honest and open and talk about some of the concerning behaviors that could be detrimental to her career, that she's already been a stalking victim, she told us. So even with you being a stalking victim, you're still seeking and putting yourself out there, enlisting negative ramifications for seeking negative attention. 9 times out of 10, women are not the people who are engaging Angel Reese when she's scantily clad. So that speaks to what I'm saying. You need external validation from men because you lacked a relationship with somebody in your life, maybe your father, and you try to replace it with that external validation. That's why therapy is necessary for both of them. But Angel, you know, as ASAP, you know, hiding behind the fact that I'm a brand. I'm like, you're a brand for a basketball player, not a stripper, not an OnlyFans model. So, you know, if you want to do business with Rihanna, she has a beauty line. maybe do more makeup tutorials, maybe do more hair tutorials. You know, if you want to be a fashion model and no reputable fashion company has come to you, then maybe look at that as a message that maybe put some clothes on, carry ourselves with respect, and show that we know our worth. And then maybe you will attract reputable brands, because here's the thing, you attract what you put out. Insecurity out, manipulation in. Insecurity out, exploitation in. When you lead with your insecurities and everybody can see that you're insecure, whether you choose to believe that's what it is or not, you will be exploited. So that's it for me on this. Anybody can learn from this. If you have any type of insecurities from your childhood, if somebody told you you were ugly and you chose to believe it, then you have to look into yourself and ask, why would I believe somebody who I don't know when they say I'm ugly? That's where therapy comes in. Therapy can help with coping with situations. It can help with boundaries. It can help to, be introspective and look at some of the behaviors which could be detrimental to your life. And therapy can also be good if everything is going well, because you want to keep it going well. So to me, it's almost like having an ace in your pocket. You don't have to run and tell your business to everybody else. It's private, it's confidential. Individual therapy. Travis Hunter Angel Reese. God bless. Talk to you all soon. Let me know your thoughts. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Until then, thanks for watching What She Said. Join the conversation when we go live, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.